You know, sometimes the oldest stories have the most to teach us. We're going to dive into a tale that's been around for thousands of years. But trust me, it's one of the sharpest tools you can have for making decisions when things get tough. It's the story of the three fish.
So let's just imagine for a second. A crisis is brewing. You can see it on the horizon, heading straight for you, your job, your life. What do? What's your move? Do you act now? Do you wait it out and see what happens? Or do you just hope for the best? Your answer really defines your entire strategy.
So the whole story kicks off in this beautiful, peaceful pond. One evening, a couple of fishermen wander by, and their jaws just drop. The pond is absolutely packed with fish. And they decide right then and there they're coming back tomorrow with their nets. The clock is ticking. The storm is coming.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Our three main characters, they're not just fish. They're basically three different ways of dealing with a crisis. First up, you've got Anagatavidara, the planner. His whole philosophy is about solving a problem before it's even a problem. Then you have Pratutpanamati, the reactor. This is the one who puts their mind to it when it actually arrives. And finally, there's Yadbhavishya, the fatalist, who believes that if it's meant to be, it'll be.
All right, so let's take a closer look at our first strategist, the planner. This fish, Anagatavidara, overhears the fisherman and immediately gets what's about to happen. There's no waiting around, no second guessing.
The planner's thinking is just crystal clear. He tries to get everyone on board, saying, "Did you hear what the fisherman said just now? Let's leave immediately for some other pond. It's not wise to stay here a moment longer." You can just feel the urgency. It's all about seeing what's coming and acting on it.
So let's just unpack the planner's strategy, right? He hears the threat and instantly understands what it means. He doesn't just save himself, he tries to warn everybody else. He acts decisively before the disaster strikes. Survival is way more important than staying in his comfortable home. So he and his family are out of there immediately. It's the classic preemptive move.
Okay, so that's the planner. Now let's switch gears and talk about our second fish, Pratutpanamati. This is the reactor, and this strategy is probably one you've seen a lot, making the decision right when you absolutely have to.
So the reactor hears the planner's big warning and totally agrees. He says, "You're right, let us go somewhere else." He gets the logic, he sees the threat, but here's the crucial difference. He doesn't do anything. Not yet. He's waiting for the danger to be staring him right in the face.
Here's the reactor's whole game plan. See the threat, understand it, but wait. He waits until he can physically see the fisherman coming back, nets in hand. That's his signal to act. He's banking on being smart enough and fast enough to get out at the very last second. It's a super high-risk, high-reward approach that takes some serious nerve.
And that, of course, brings us to the third fish, Yadbhavishya, the fatalist. And his choice is, well, it's to do nothing at all. It's a choice rooted completely in a belief in fate.
While the others are panicking, the fatalist just kind of scoffs at them. His argument is actually pretty powerful. He says, would it be right to give up this pond that belonged to our forefathers just because of the talk of fishermen? If it's time for us to die, death will certainly not spare us. He's choosing tradition and destiny over a clear and present danger.
I mean, just look at this. You couldn't find two more different mindsets. On one side, the planner is all about, I must act to control my future. Their whole deal is to avoid the threat before it even gets close. On the other side, the fatalist just says, my future is out of my control. What will be, will be. It's a total clash of worldviews.
And, well, the story ends exactly how you think it would. The next day, the fishermen came back. They threw their nets, and every single fish that was left in that pond, including Yadbhavishya, was caught. His inaction sealed his fate.
So, the lesson seems pretty simple, doesn't it? Be the planner. End of story. But hold on, because the story isn't actually done with us yet. It's about to get a whole lot deeper. It asks a much, much tougher question. What do you do when running just isn't an option? This is where the fable pivots to a second story about two tiny birds, the titibia, who had their eggs stolen by the ocean itself. You can't exactly swim away from the entire ocean, can you? And this introduces an incredible new idea. Zeal. It's this concept that even when you are tiny, even when you are facing something massive, if you have enough focus, determination, enough zeal, you can take on opponents that seem impossible to beat.
The male titiba bird, who decides he is going to empty the entire ocean with his tiny beak, says something so powerful. He says, "When a thunderbolt strikes it, the mountain crumbles." Well, is a thunderbolt as big as the mountain? So the man with zeal is the man who is strong. The size is unimportant. Wow. It's not about how big you are. It's about the force you can bring to a single point.
But okay, what if you're just one person, and even with all the zeal in the world, the ocean is still the ocean? Well, his wife offers the final, crucial piece of wisdom. She says, small, insignificant things united become unconquerable. Thin blades of grass woven into a thick rope can tie up an elephant. And there it is, the power of working together.
So let's just put this all together into a clear strategy. This ancient story gives us a 4-step playbook. First, anticipate. Be the planner. Act before the problem gets to you. If you can't, then second, adapt. Be the reactor. Act decisively the moment it arrives. If the problem is just too big to run from, third, persevere. Use your individual zeal, like the male bird. And if even that isn't enough, fourth, unite. Find your strength in numbers, like the female bird taught us.
And that's really what it all boils down to, isn't it? From a simple story about a pond to this epic battle with the ocean, we're given this incredible framework. So the next time a crisis shows up, the next big challenge, you have to ask yourself, which one am I going to be? The planner? The reactor? The one who perseveres? Or the one who unites? The choice really is yours.